Now we shall discuss about the types of motion. Now see, types of motion, as last time in the video I gave the names: uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Now uniform motion, as I have explained, that same distances are travelled in same interval of time, and if you draw the graph of position versus time, then it will be a straight line graph, means equal distances are travelled in same time interval. While if we have non-uniform motion, then different distances are travelled in same time interval, means there is no same correlation. We can say same distances are not travelled in same time interval, different distances are travelled in same time interval. Okay, then the graph of position versus time will be like a curved graph or a irregular graph. Now, if you have the object which is stationary situated at some position, say for example from reference point it is at 10 meter, then it remains there for say some time interval, then it is not changing its position with respect to time. Time passes, but the position remains unchanged, then this kind of object is said to be a stationary object, and the graph of this kind of situation will be parallel to time axis. Okay. Now we move further with the new topic, that is average velocity. Now average velocity is nothing but displacement upon time interval. Now displacement is nothing but final position minus initial position. So if final position is taken as x2 and initial position is taken as x1, final time is t2, initial time is t1, then average velocity v bar is equal to x2 minus x1 upon t2 minus t1, that is denoted by delta x upon delta t. x2 minus x1 is delta x, that is change in position upon time interval. Now one example I am taking to make this concept of average velocity more clear. This is the x-axis, okay, because we are talking about the motion in one dimension. Here this is your reference point 0, 0, from where the object begins its motion at t is equal to 0. Now this is 60, 120, means it's a table of 6. Up to 420 I have shown. This side it is minus 60, minus 120, minus 180, that way I have taken. Now if the object goes from O to Q, O to Q in time interval, that is t1 is equal to 0 to t2 is equal to 30 seconds. So in 30 seconds it goes from point O to Q. So average velocity is final position minus initial position. Final position is 300. So 300 minus initial position is 0. Time interval 30 minus 0, so average velocity will be 10 meter per second. Very easy. Now it goes from this point Q to R in next 20 seconds. So if I want to find out average velocity considering my initial point O, then total time interval, try to understand, from here to here, O to Q is 30, Q to R is 20, so total time will be 50 seconds, or at 50 seconds the object will be at point R. Okay, so the average velocity from going from O to R will be, how much distance does it cover? O to R is 420. So final position is 420, initial is 0. So 420, I am considering with respect to O, not with respect to Q. So 420 minus 0 upon 50 minus 0. So 8.4 meter per second will be the average velocity. Okay. Now in next 50 second, so total 50 second my पहुंचे छे, at what point? At point R it is reaching in 50 seconds. Then in next 50 seconds it goes to original position. So final position and initial position are now same. So no change in position. So, or rather say final and initial positions are same. So the change in position is 0. So average velocity will be 0 meter per second. So in 100 seconds it goes to R, comes back to O. Okay, so 0 meter per second will be its average velocity. Now in next 20 seconds the object goes from O to say S. S is on left side, minus 120. So final position is minus 120. Okay. Initial, it has begun its journey at t is equal to 0. આખું આપણે ધ્યાનમાં લઈએ છીએ right now. Okay. So at this point, or we can say from this point, it has started its journey at t is equal to 0 time. Okay. So went to R, came back on O, and again it is on S. So total it has travelled this much. So going to 420, again coming back to 420. For displacement we have to consider final position and initial position. The final is minus 120, initial is 0. So minus 120 minus 0, and in next 20 seconds, so 100 plus 20, so at 120th second it is here at point S. So total time is 120 minus 0. If you consider this your as a reference point, because you have started from this point, so 120, so it becomes minus 1 meter per second. Now try to understand minus sign. There are three different answers. One is positive answer, the other answer is 0, and third answer is negative. Velocity, the average velocity can be positive, negative or 0. When positive velocity is there, we can say that the object is moving in positive x direction or in right hand side direction. If the velocity is negative, then we can say the object is moving in, or rather it has moved in negative direction or in left hand direction. And if it is 0, then obviously object has not moved, it is on the same position, or we can say final position and initial positions are same. So these are the different graphs which are showing this situation, position versus time. Positive, it is an ascending line, try to understand. Increasing line, ascending line means the object has moved in positive direction. As time passes, its motion is towards positive x direction. Here you can see the object is moving in negative direction or in left hand direction. X decreases as time passes. X decreases as time passes means it is moving in negative direction. And if it is stationary, then the graph will be parallel to time axis. Okay. Now this is all about average velocity. Now rate of motion on actual path is also defined. This is we have taken as final position and initial position into consideration. You can define rate of motion on the basis of actual path which has travelled by the object, and if you divide actual distance travelled, that is called path length, or we can say distance travelled. Path length and distance displacement we have understood. These all calculations is based on displacement. Now we are talking about path length. So actual distance travel or actual length of the path divided by the total time interval will give you the average speed, or average speed is defined as total path length upon total time interval. If motion is on straight line, and in same direction, motion is on straight line going in one particular direction. So there are conditions applied for this particular statement. If motion is on straight line and it is in the same direction, then and then what will happen? The magnitude of displacement will be equal to the path length. If object is moving in this particular direction only, not going this side, not going in any other direction, it is moving in one particular direction only, then and then the magnitude of displacement and path length would be same, and at that time average velocity will be equal to average speed. But try to understand this. Average speed is a concept in which the direction part is not involved, or we can say direction is not considered. Here when negative sign comes, we can say that object has moved in left hand direction or in negative direction. Positive means it has moved in positive direction, and 0 means it is stationary. Okay, so this concept you try to understand properly. Average velocity is displacement upon time, that is a straight line joining from final point to the initial point we have to consider, and that length we have to measure. That will give you the value of displacement. Either it will be positive or negative, or it will be 0. But what you have to take into consideration? The straight line joining the initial to final point. That will give you the displacement. While in average speed you need total distance travel, that is path length, the actual length of path on which the object has moved. So that total path length upon total time interval for traveling that distance will give you average speed. This does not involve direction, well, this involves direction, and those quantities which involves direction as well as magnitude are known as vector quantity. So average velocity is a vector quantity, while here average speed is a scalar quantity. Okay, try to work 2-3 times. Thank you very much.